Two South African strains. Although South Africa is a young country when compared with the continent, the sport of pigeon racing has been practiced here since early days, dating back to the turn of the century. The first pigeon used for racing were from English origin, and strains like Barker and Logan were common among fanciers. After World War I, more importation into South Africa were made, and at this time some of Belgium's largest strain came into the country. These were mainly pigeons of the Groter, Breekoks, Grits, Van de Weerd, and Strater's culture. Herney father came to South Africa in 1932 after having been club champions in an at-rate club and settled in Kimberley, the Diamond City, as a cigar manufacturer. He soon discovered that he could also raise pigeons in South Africa, and so it came about that he imported 12 pigeons from his hometown in Antwerp in Belgium. These pigeons came to South Africa in 1937. Few fanciers who saw the birds liked them, whilst even fewer ever realized that these pigeons were destined to cause a major revolution in pigeon racing in South Africa. It was known that the pigeons at Le Fringe originated mostly from the strain of Charles van der Epps. From this hap inbreeding pairing came a pale white feathered who won first national St. Vincent in 1969 as a yearling. Van der Esps had founded his own strain with pigeons of Master Theo van der Velde, where he was at home. He exchanged also pigeons on a regular basis with Oscar de Vriend of Mori and his fellow villagers, the Casui brothers. It is known that Van der Est had a very good line of pale and red pigeons. These red lines were reinforced with the introduction of some Breekoks and Horman pigeons directly or via Hector Desmet. It was out of this red line that Patry brought a proven champion. Jan Grondelier was born in 1920 in Ospelbeek in a family of 5 children. At home, they never heard or saw anything about pigeon, but John got very interested in the pigeon of his neighbor. In 1952, John started for the 3rd time with his pigeons, and this time it was for sure. During his years as a manager, he learned a lot what could have been used within the pigeon sports. Exercise and motivation are very important, but at the end, the class and quality are the most important aspects. These lessons would be remembered for the rest of his life. Coy's, Haskins, and Jeff Ben Riel established their loft in the spacious garden of Frank Haskins in Kapelle Stenberg in Elkdorp. From 1945 up to and including 1956, they practically broke up the Union of Antwerp, with the tremendous success that they had in the national and international races. Their loft were started with pigeons from different lofts and of different strains. In fact, Haskins Ben Riel have never set forth a complete history of their birds. They were the owners of the strong team of stock birds. All of those descendants received a name. For some reason or another, the origin of their birds was kept a secret. For many years, Joseph van den Bosch of Villiers-Lier carried a letter around with him all the time, in which was plainly stated in a black and white that Haskins Ben Riel and their foundation from Villiers. John Arden became the Alshoot very famous with his racing pigeons at the short and middle long distance. But with the company of Anton, they got very interested in the extreme long distance races. Anton was in that time very good friends with Willy van Kampershoot. This man had racing pigeons which were very famous on the extreme long distance races. Anton was very interested and passionate by competing to the international San Sebastian flights. At the end of Anton had won his chat, and therefore John Arden became also a long distance racer. Together with his son, Anton, he drove to a couple of top racing pigeon loaf and get a good origin for that distance.